From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Computer running slow?
I'm waiting.
Caught a virus?
Well,
Does your computer seem to have a life of its own?
Malfunction. Need input.
The computer guru is here.
Thank God you're here!
Call in now.
Now it's Mike Swanson, your computer guru.
Welcome to the Computer Guru Show. My name's Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process, because that's what we do around here. 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. That's 520-790-2040. Got Rob in this week.
Yep, I'm back.
Rob is back. And, of course, Kent running the board over there. That's what he does.
Good morning, Mr. Guru.
Whoa. Well, that's loud.
Too loud?
Man. Yeah, man.
All right, man. I'll cut it
He's
back.
just
They said
excited.
They
He's
put a new
excited to
mic
be
in
here.
there. I don't know.
You guys are always changing the mics in there. What's going on in there?
Yeah, they changed it, and it's quite a bit hotter. I apologize.
Yeah. Cool it down, buddy.
It's all cool.
It's cool. All right. If you want to be part of the show, we'd love to hear from you. 790-2040. If you've got any technology issues, any questions regarding the way that you interact with technology, we're here to help, because that's what we do. Now, there's all kinds of doom and gloom in the news, but we're going to try to keep it somewhat light, especially if you have you got a Samsung phone. You got a Samsung Galaxy Note 7, maybe.
Not for much longer.
Well, you may have the phone.
You'll have a nice paperweight soon.
That is correct. Samsung has said that they are going to brick your phone with the next update.
They're going to push a firmware update that makes it to where it cannot charge.
Yep. Basically, you get to use it until it runs out of battery, and that's it.
You know, this is a good move, honestly. It's kind of crazy that there's even people still using it.
Yeah.
I get holding onto the phone because you want to trade it in for a Pixel, but don't use it. Come on.
Right. Not to mention the Pixel's out. Just go trade it in.
Well, there's a shortage. That's why a lot of people still have to wait.
Oh.
Because the Pixel's really popular.
Huh. I didn't have to wait.
I think that they're prioritizing sales over trade-ins, sadly.
Well, Samsung's paying for it, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently that's the rationale a lot of people are giving. I think really there's just a lot of holdouts still.
There's people who just don't listen.
I mean, what's the upside? Like, best case scenario, it just doesn't explode, but then you still have a phone that can only charge to 60%, because that was one of the other updates they did.
Right.
It's not supported by any updates, ever.
Right. Can't take it on a plane.
Can't take it on a plane, and every time somebody sees that you have one, they're going to yell at you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, stop it. Get rid of that phone. We were telling that people that, 2 months ago.
I say that as, a self-described Samsung fanboy, so...
Well, I will say it as someone who doesn't like Samsung, and if you have a Samsung phone, you should probably just get rid of it.
I'll say the S7 is still one of the better phones. Like, one of the best.
It's an all right phone.
I did get a chance to go play with the Pixel XL, though.
Yeah.
It's a nice phone.
It is a beautiful phone.
That I'm strongly considering that being my next phone.
Really?
Yeah, I really like it. I like the XL, though. I don't like the one that you have. It's too small because I've got my Note 4,
Right.
I've gotten used to having a gigantic screen.
You're used to having a phone that's just too big?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my phone really is too big. It's so big that it breaks all headphones that I use.
Yeah, well, I think that's just a Samsung thing.
Well, apparently they're considering removing the headphone jack in the S8.
No,
that's I would call that rumor completely unfounded at the moment, but it is going around.
All right, so if you have a Samsung Note 7, say goodbye.
You can use it to hold down your actual notes. Like I said, it's a paperweight.
Yeah, it is not. You should have stopped using that phone 2 months ago.
And there are a lot of people who are like, oh, but statistics, Like I said, best case scenario, you just have a phone that sucks.
Right, and sure, the number of phones that have exploded or caught on fire is really low. However, it's one of those things that's like, yeah, why would you do it?
Why would you even take the chance?
Right, it's still a low number, but do you want to burn your house down?
Or kill somebody?
Right. You want to be homeless or dead? Yeah, I mean, it's a low percentage, but you're inviting that.
Maybe it's people who just like to live on the edge, They like a little excitement in their life.
Oh, well, no, they're living on the Note.
How do you think they plan to answer the plethora of calls? Hey, my phone doesn't work anymore.
Oh, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think it's going to be pretty apparent.
Isn't that going to be kind of like those billboards for Cox that they had where they're like, is your internet down? Go to Cox.com. Like they can't call us. Their phone, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, if they call up and say, hey, my notes stopped working, they're going to be like, time to get a new phone. Right? Because there's nothing. It's a sales opportunity for the cellular industry now.
Like you said, there's a rash of uninformed people out there.
That's true.
That number is staggeringly huge.
Yeah. Just curious.
Yeah, if you have a Note 7, yeah, you need to get a different phone. And that's pretty much all there is to it. You know, it's dangerous. I don't think I need another reason, right? Then, yeah, we recognize that. I would feel differently about this if it were like Consumer Reports just saying, you know what, we think that this is a dangerous thing. But when the manufacturer themselves be like, you know what, you need to give this thing back right now.
Samsung did say that 85% have been returned, which that's a pretty high number. I kind of didn't expect it to be that high.
That was my other question, if they know roughly how many are out in...
Yeah, they say that about 85% have already been returned.
Okay.
I mean, I get the inconvenience of not having a phone or having to be in like a crappy phone while you wait, but it's a lot better than the inconvenience of not having a house because you burned it down.
Yeah. Yep. Or, a lot of people, they had these phones with their kids, right? And kids are notorious for not having poor charging habits. And, they will stick the phone under like blankets or a pillow or something to charge. And then suddenly you have barbecued kid.
Something combustible.
Right. It's just like, you know what? I'm going to use gasoline to clean my phone and charge it at the same time. No. So stop it.
I feel like that would actually work, though.
What?
Using gasoline to clean your phone.
Oh, yeah, it would work.
Yeah, it would work really well, right?
Yeah.
Fingernail polish, something like that, acetone.
I mean, the phone is effectively liquid proof, right? Liquid resistant.
Well, I am sad about this whole Note 7 thing still because I was excited about that phone, but hopefully the S8 is better.
We'll just wait for the next one.
Yeah. Unless I have my Pixel XL by then.
You probably will.
Yeah.
And this is going to hurt Samsung.
I think they'll be okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're only like, one of the largest companies on the planet as far as, what they do.
I don't know if even all of their shipping ships that they make have enough room to store their net worth.
Yeah, it's pretty funny as if you take a look at what Samsung does. Like, you're like, what does Samsung do? And the list is astonishing.
Well, we were talking about this one time before while we were standing outside of the studio. And there's that place next door that has like the granite countertops and all that.
Right.
And we were just talking about all the things that Samsung does. And we look over and one of these big sheets of granite has the Samsung logo on it.
Yep.
It's like, there you go.
They build... Samsung Heavy Industries is like one of the most successful companies on Earth. And they make laptops, monitors. They build these ships that you ship ships on. They're a monstrous company. Yeah, I think that they'll be okay.
RTV in the chat says, are we going to use gasoline on the Furbies? Probably. That's something we talked about.
There's going to be just beautiful slow motion death of Furbies.
I'm kind of personally hoping that a chainsaw is involved somewhere.
I have a chainsaw.
Oh, there we go.
Does anyone know anybody with a Phantom camera locally?
Ooh, I don't know.
If anyone knows of someone locally that's
willing to let us use it.
Yeah, that's willing to come over and bring their Phantom for the destruction of Furbies.
There's going to be multiple angles. There's going to be tons of camera footage. Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's gonna be awesome. I saw one where this guy was chopping Furbies in half with a water cutter.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It was pretty interesting. It's kind of disturbing to watch.
One of those cutters that can slice like anything.
Yeah,
yeah,
with water.
Water saws or whatever.
It's pretty fancy.
So right now, in case anybody's wondering, the holdup with this is that we're trying to source a bunch of Furbies for a relatively low price.
Yeah, because Furbies are kind of expensive.
They are, apparently. And I don't want to just do like the plushy ones that are just like stuffed animals. No, we want robotic Furbies that will get destroyed.
That mid-sentence will explode.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be running.
It's going to be awesome. All right, so let's take a moment to mention our sponsor. That would be Perfection Auto Works. You can visit their website at perfectionautoworks.com. Mike Emery and his team are wonderful wonderful people. I mean, every time I've been over there, have been impressed with just how nice everyone is. And, and it's like the super clean lobby. Everything is wonderful. I mean, the whole place is clean. He makes a joke. He says you could probably eat off the floors out there. I don't know that I would, just because, I'm kind of a germaphobe. But it is very, very clean.
It's good to know that you could if you had to, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like if you dropped your burrito or something, it'd probably be okay with the 5-second rule.
That's the 5-second rule specifically. Get your 26-point inspection for free, because free is our favorite number over here at the Computer Guru Show. We'll be right back after these messages. Be sure to listen to their ad coming up right now, right here on the Computer Guru Show.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOY, The Voice. Your technology guru, Mike Swanson, is answering all your questions one by one.
Yes, science!
So chime in with yours. The website is gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. 790-2040. Let's talk to Charles. Hello, Charles. How are you? I think you got to click on him. Charles, are you there?
That would help. Thank you, Kent. How do you hear me?
I hear you just fine, sir.
Okay, good. I got a new headset. I'm anticipating that there's going to be some regulations about talking on the phone while driving, so I got this new headset with a mic built into it, and I'm always curious.
You're anticipating late, because it's already here, but it's going to be national here pretty soon, it looks like.
Well, I guess this isn't the show to discuss that, but that's okay. I was cleaning things out, and I discovered a keyboard base for a Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1.
Right.
It's new in the box. Is there a better way than Swap Shop to find a new home for it? Or, in other words, is there like some user group of somebody who would be excited to own one of these things? I used to have the tablet, and I accidentally left it on an airplane. And when I discovered that I did that, I was so happy not to have it anymore. I didn't call Lost and Found to get it back.
Wow. Okay then.
It was beautiful. I mean, the screen on that was the clearest thing I've ever seen. But it was so. I'm kind of a Windows and a BlackBerry kind of guy, and it was everything about the way it worked was so counterintuitive. I mean, I found it impossible to use and an aggravation to own, so I quit using it.
I don't like Samsungs either, just so you know.
Oh, I don't know if it was Samsung or if it was the Android system that was so difficult for me, but
it's Samsung.
Anyway,
yeah,
is it?
Yeah,
I think Mike's just trying to get a response out of me.
Samsungs are terrible. No, I mean, I don't like the interface. I think that they're just sort of, meh.
What do you mean by the interface?
The skin that they have for Android.
Right. So the way that they hide things on Samsung kind of irritates me. Just that. That's just me. And I really don't like the on-screen keyboard. Hate it.
Yeah, I didn't like it either, which is why I bought this thing. I bought two of them, and I used one, and the other one I just put in a box and put it on my shelf, and I forgot I had it. And it was an $80 item that I'd love to. I'd be tickled to get $20 for, or trade me a box of ammo or something. I suppose I could put it on Swap Shop tomorrow. But if you guys knew a better way, like if you knew somebody that had one of these, I mean, heck, I'd flat for you for all the nice work you've done for me. I'd give it to you if you had a use for it.
Well, we are doing our Christmas giveaway right now. So if you donate any hardware, we find a home for it. And people can nominate them, either someone they know or themselves on our website. They can go there and say, help, I need a computer, or I know somebody who needs a computer. And then any hardware that's been donated, we fix it up, we refurb it if necessary, and then we rehome it.
Oh, because this is like as new in the box, and I just thought you might know somebody in your vast, Rolodex, if you will, to
What's a Rolodex? No, I'm just kidding. So if you donate it, we will find a home for it, right? Somebody will say, hey, I have this tablet and I need a keyboard, or something along those lines.
Especially since a keyboard like that can make a tablet much more functional.
Yep. And a lot of kids have Android, either laptops or tablets that are provided by schools these days. So there's the option that we could find somebody who could use it.
Oh, in other words, you can use you can Bluetooth it to any computer.
Pretty much, yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even need to fit the little case. You know, you don't have to even connect it to that at all.
Yeah, because I guess if that's really only a cradle, it really connects by Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. So yeah, we can find a home for it if you want. Otherwise, you swap shop that thing up. You just let me know what you want to do.
Okay. Well, I just wanted an alternative in case everyone had the same feeling about the Galaxy that I did.
Not everyone. I mean, Rob loves
I
them.
was thinking of getting one of those Samsung Galaxy Notes phones because it seemed kind of cool. I know Harry had one, and he could do a lot of things with it.
The Note 5 is still a really nice phone, and it doesn't explode.
I was thinking if I got a 7, I could get it for a song.
Well, you can, but you can't use it.
I
for
think
much longer.
I think that the Note 7 is going to be a collector's item at some point.
Well, I think sometime soon. But, I mean, as long as you're not trying to take it on an airliner or something.
Right.
Or trying to charge it after the next update.
Or is it the next update will make it, we'll deadline it?
The next update is going to make it so that the phone can no longer be charged.
So whatever battery life you have left, that's it.
Oh, so you should, set your phone not to do updates if you're going to get one.
Don't tell people to do that. Actually, with this one, I don't think you'll have a choice. I think it's going to surpass even that.
Right. I think you're going to end up with a forced update.
Okay. So they'll have to design a hack so that it won't update.
Yeah, great. I mean, you can keep it around just in case you get cold.
It's true.
And if you avoid the update.
I got stuff in the bug out bag for that. That's not a problem. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you very much. It's a wonderful service you have here where people can actually talk about their computer problems.
Yes, they can. Or they can come visit us down at the shop. And we have a phone number for that too. That's 304-8300, and you can call the shop. I mean, Howard's there. Is it Howard there today?
Yeah, Howard's there.
Howard's there today.
Hey, at the speed of the pen, guys.
Some people write faster than others.
Yes, some do. Not me, not one of them. All right, have a great day.
All right, thanks for the call, Charles. Once again, that's 304-8300 if you want to talk to the shop. If you don't want to be on air, some people are shy. Or you can go to the chat room. That's gurushow.com/chat.
Yeah, there's only 2 of us in there right now.
Oh, really? That's a sad thing.
I do want to mention, though, while we were talking about the holiday giveaway, somebody called the shop yesterday, and I was talking to her, and she brought up a point that I don't think we've mentioned yet, which is that if you want to donate a machine and it's got a hard drive in it and you're worried about the data that's on there,
we'll give it back to you.
Yeah, we can do one of 2 things. We'll definitely wipe it so that none of that data is available, but if you just would rather keep the hard drive, we have no problem removing it and handing it to you.
Yep, we don't want your data everywhere. In fact, we don't think anybody should have data anywhere. It's like I don't like the idea of this permanent record of.
I will tell you right now that any time that I have gotten rid of a hard drive for whatever reason, I've downloaded one of those Gutman wipe algorithm programs,
right,
and done that on that. I've also taken a hammer to them if I felt that need.
Yeah, the hammer is more fun.
Yeah,
it's way more fun,
for sure.
Or take them apart and watch them run until they die.
Yeah, you can use the little platters as frisbees.
Those things are remarkably shiny. The shiniest things mirrors are not as shiny. It is pretty amazing. Anyway, yeah, we're going to make sure that your data is safe. We're going to make sure that nobody has a copy of your data.
Yeah, and we do the wipe on those drives regardless of whether you ask for it or not. That's just a standard thing that we do.
Right, because you don't need your data out there.
Yeah.
So, please consider donating to the giveaway.
And also another point I wanted to make is that assuming that we still have machines to donate after Christmas, it doesn't just stop at Christmas. We donate until the machines are gone.
Right, and if somebody donates one in February, right, it's going to get donated at some point in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
So bring your machines down, give us your old computers, we can fix them up and get rid of them. That would and help people, right? Because
it's a nice thing to do and make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah, and I'm not a charity, so I can't give you any tax credits or anything. But what you can do is know that you help somebody because we're going to give that computer away to somebody who could use it, and lots of people need computers and.
A surprising amount of people still don't have a viable, good computer to use, and it's really necessary today.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter, right? It's very interesting. Yeah, of course, my daughter has a computer, right? But requirements of the school is basically like, yeah, you have to do this stuff online or else, right? There's no, you can't go to school these days without having an active internet connection and a computer, which I think is just, that's super sad, right? Because there's a lot of people that just don't have it.
I mean, I think it is sad because a lot of people don't have them, but I understand why. I mean, you can't really have the dog ate my homework excuse anymore.
Yeah, well, now you can say that the NSA snagged it.
What I used to do when I was in school is I would open up the Word document in like a text editor and just delete a few lines and then resave it and email it to my teacher. And then she'd be like,
it's all corrupted.
I'd be like, oh, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. I'll send it to you again. But in the meantime, I had enough time to finish it.
That's not very nice.
Well, just giving out helpful tips to our listeners.
You just want to help them out?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm here. That's what I'm here for. The real help.
You want to build yourself an extra, 30 seconds of, time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's time to take a break.
After that one, I need a break.
We're listening to the Computer Guru Show. We'll be right back.
You know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you wanna go to that home out on the range. They got a lot of nice girls.
Whether you're dealing with hardware installation or, heaven forbid, a virus,
No!
Mike Swanson is answering all your questions one by one. So call in or chat in with yours. The website, gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show on AM 1030 KVOY The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOI The Voice.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show, 790-2040, if you'd like to be part of the show. Want to talk about Russia or John Glenn?
I do want to mention the John Glenn thing.
All right.
Unfortunately, astronaut John Glenn passed away.
Yeah, dude had a long run.
He was 95.
That's after being exposed to the radiation of space.
I mean, whenever I hear about somebody like that making it to like 95 years old, I mean, yes, it's sad that he passed away, but at the same time, it's like, he did pretty well, I think,
I think that he
had a pretty good run there.
Yeah, and he all he did was make us all look lazy.
That's true. I mean, we were just talking about him, and I didn't even know that he was a senator.
Yeah, so he was. He was in the World War II flying missions. He was in the Korean War. He was an astronaut, a senator, and then a whole bunch of stuff after that. As far as
it's just too many things. Pick one, John Glenn. Come on.
Too late. You already did them all. Our condolences on the passing of John Glenn.
He orbited the Earth more than 100 times.
And the first American to orbit the Earth.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Not the first person.
Not the first person, but the first American.
Definitely not the first primate.
I mean, come on, first American, you might as well just be the first person, right?
Really?
People are like, start using Celsius. And I'm like, Celsius never got any of you to the moon, so. Just saying.
I would actually fully support a metric conversion.
I'm too lazy for that.
I just think that it's like everything makes sense in metric, right? As far as everything is,
I'm just saying, when humanity read the temperature on the surface of the moon, it was in Fahrenheit.
What was it?
Well, which flag is up there?
All right, then. Okay, you got a point. We'll just let it run. We'll let it go with that. That is incontrovertible proof that we should just be running everything in F.
Yep.
Right? All right. If you'd like to join us in the chat, gurushow.com/chat. You can participate there, and Rob can let you know why everything should be in Fahrenheit as opposed to metric system. Right?
I mean, they're called imperial units for a reason.
Okay. All right, let's talk about Russia for a minute. So, in almost not news, there's a story that the CIA has determined that yes, Russia was involved with hacking in the election, which I think was interesting because the headline is set in such a way that would make you think, they've manipulated votes like directly hacked into the voting machines, and no.
Votes are manipulated by fax.
Yeah. And that's pretty
Who would've
much
thought?
that's pretty much what the story is that they're saying yes, Russia leaked the emails to WikiLeaks that potentially
Swayed the election.
swayed the outcome of the election, but they completely gloss over the fact that they hacked a server that Hillary Clinton wasn't supposed to have in her home.
Hey, now. Let's not talk about any of that stuff, all right? Let's talk about what matters, okay? Right. Hacking happened,
but let's not talk about the fact that there was opportunity for that hacking. Oh, and by the way, it wasn't just Russia. There was at least 9 other governments that hacked that server.
I mean, I'm not usually one to buy into the whole, like, misdirection conspiracy stuff, but, like, in this case, it's like, okay, I think the facts that were presented were more important than how they were obtained.
Right. Even like on CNN where people will be like, but in this email you said, and they're like, that doesn't matter because those were stolen emails. And it was just like, the fact that you typed that email doesn't mean anything.
Not if it gets stolen.
No.
You can say whatever you want and do whatever you want as long as the proof when it comes out was stolen.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what really happened. It just matters that something else happened.
Something illegal.
Anyway,
I mean, okay, look, it's not good that, like, Russia's hacking stuff, you know? It's usually not a good thing when things get hacked. However, in some cases, the facts that come out of those types of attacks are relevant no matter how they were obtained, like I said.
Right. Even if we ignore that fact altogether. The fact that if you are someone, let's say that you have a relatively low access to any information in the government, right? Even with that, do you not think that you should have some basic level of security on your email, right? Especially if you're like Secretary of State, don't you think that you should have some type of like real security instead of running off of some?
Nah, bro, it's hooked up to a Linksys home router with, you know, port forwarding for every port enabled.
It's like, come on, man. Don't do that.
Well, you don't need security, Mike, because people shouldn't be hacking. So,
just
no security needed.
Teach hackers not to hack. That is.
Don't wear your seatbelt because, you know, people shouldn't be disobeying traffic laws anyway.
You know, and by that logic, though, all right, it shouldn't be illegal to drink and drive. It should just be illegal to drink and have an accident while driving, right? That's the same type of logic that's really happening there. It's not the fact that something horrible was happening security-wise all along. It's the outcome of that that's really the bad thing. That's the same thing as not being upset that someone lied. It's being upset that they got caught in the lie, and that bothers me. It's stop it.
It's like, yeah, like I lied to you in order to learn that you were lying, so now it doesn't matter that you were lying because I lied to you.
So it turns out that the CIA has confirmed that facts can sway the outcome of an election.
It's amazing.
But they're not facts because they're stolen.
Right.
Right. They're not real.
They're fake news, which we should drown out.
Totally fake news. Speaking of fake news, Facebook, which is the apparently the epicenter of fake news, other than of course Brian Williams,
right?
Who has also come out against fake news.
Ironically,
yeah, it's self-awareness has folded back upon itself.
You know, I will say though that like if he can apologize for that and then start to try to recover from it, good for him, I guess. But come on, man. That was another one of the like I'm sorry because I got caught things. Yeah. You know.
So Facebook has come up with an algorithm, a bot, a technology that they're patenting that will squash fake news before it ever makes it to the front page of Facebook.
I'm kind of two minds on this whole fake news thing.
Okay.
On one hand, I agree that it's not good to have misinformation getting spread, but on the other hand, it promotes skepticism, which I think is a good thing.
I agree.
You should never just read a headline and be like, "That's a fact."
I think it's a great way that if I see somebody like reposting just crap on Facebook, I'm like, now I know who not to listen to, and that's totally fine. It's a real time saver. I don't actually have to have a conversation with them about. Well, obviously, you don't know how to check your sources.
That's like a few years ago. I can't remember what website it was. One of the big news sites posted a story, and the headline was like 98% of people only read headlines. And then in the story it was like, if anybody posts this on Facebook, just know that they only read the headline because right here we're telling you not to. And an astounding number of people posted that story and were like, bashing people who only read headlines.
See, now I also reposted that with the add-on. It's just like, you should read the body of this.
Right.
Because this is crazy that people are reposting stuff their entire worldview is based on Facebook headlines. And that is a scary thought, especially when there is Facebook is not necessarily known for being all that honest anyway.
I mean, yeah, especially lately.
Right. If they've had to apologize on 3 separate occasions for misleading advertisers
in the past 4 months.
Oh yeah, since September. 3 times in the last 4 months they've had to say, "Yeah, sorry, what was the word they used? They miscalculated." Right. Other than what really that translates to is, "Yeah, we were lying to you,
and then we got caught. Sorry,
and we're sorry that we got caught." Right, because what they were doing is inflating the numbers, the metrics for advertisers. People are actually paying money to advertise on Facebook.
There, surprisingly, is this whole study that goes into how you calculate a view on a video on the internet.
Right, other than the fact that somebody actually watched it.
Right. And now YouTube has spent, the last almost 15 years at this point figuring that out. And their metric for counting views is actually really, really good. Facebook just decided that 1 play equals 1 view.
Oh, by the way, 1 autoplay. You don't even have to stop on the page as it scrolls by. Guess what that counts as?
That's a view.
That's a view.
So they were saying, they had these astounding numbers, like advertisers got 50 million views on their video.
Here's an interesting thing about the Facebook views also, for video specifically. Let's say you scroll past it. It's just off the screen on the top of your screen there, and it is auto-playing silently. And those count as views too, even though you can't see them.
Well, that's a view, Mike. You viewed it. You viewed it as you were scrolling by at lightning speed.
Right, and then kept viewing it over and over again.
I don't understand what the benefit here is other than getting advertisers initially, but none of them are going to get a good return on investment if that's the stats that they're seeing. If you get 50 million views on your ad, that's great, but if you get like 1 click as a result, you're going to be pretty upset with the platform.
One phone call as a result.
And that's exactly what happened. That's why Facebook got caught.
Right, because people were saying, well, I've spent all this money and I see all these views, but they're not equating to any type of return on investment.
And I mean, this is kind of how I feel about advertising via video anyway. How many times can you say you honestly bought something as a result of a YouTube ad?
I don't see YouTube ads, so I don't know.
Exactly.
Most people have ad blockers.
I mean, I think that the closest I've ever come to using something as a result of a YouTube ad is uBlock Origin.
Yeah, pretty much. Every time I see an ad, I'm like, you know what? I need to install an ad blocker.
I'm like, oh, I forgot to install that.
Now, if you're one of those poor people that are still using Internet Explorer, you have no idea what we're talking about. But there's a way to actually view the internet that is nearly ad-free. I know it's kind of this new novel thing. Use a different browser.
It's something that I've noticed lately that as a web developer, it really upsets me. Websites that are intentionally breaking their website if you have ad blocker enabled.
Well, I think that's fine, right? It's for me. I refuse to turn off the ad blocker, right? So if I go to a website and they either make the site unusable because of that ad blocker, guess what? I'm not using that website, and they can lose out on the ad revenue or on the potential to actually disseminate information. I don't care.
And the funny thing is that the supposition is that by forcing me to turn off my ad blocker, like I'm going to interact with their ads anyway. I never was going to, even if I see them.
Right.
It was never going to happen.
All right, unless they're the sketchy kind. The ones that are like, oh, click here. Right? The big green button.
The big green button. Yeah, I love when websites actually use a big green button because it's invisible to me at this point. Like I've been trying. I remember there was a time with you where I was like, I cannot find the download link for this. And you're like, dude, it's right there. I was like, what? Oh, the big... No, it's not.
I do not see this thing that you're talking about. Or in Westworld terms, it doesn't look like anything to me.
Yeah, my mind completely edits that out now.
Oh, man. Yeah, people, you should watch Westworld. Because I watched the finale last week.
Don't tell me anything. I haven't even watched it yet.
Oh, man.
I wait until the show's completely over.
It's time to watch it. It's over.
All right.
The season is over. We'll be right back with more of the Computer Guru Show.
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM 1030, KVOY, The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show.
So here we are in the season of giving, and it's time to give back, right? Well, what happens if you get your machine infected with ransomware? Because there's a new ransomware variant that's out right now that instead of just having to give up money to get your data back, your option is that you can give the gift of encryption to at least 2 people who pay to get your stuff back.
Like really strong encryption.
Right. So you get a ransomware infection, and they give you an option. You can either pay us a Bitcoin to get your data back, or you can infect 2 other people, and when they pay, you get your data back.
That reminds me of that movie The Ring, where in order to live, you have to show the tape to somebody else.
Right. It's the same type of thing, I guess, except for you don't actually die.
I mean, kind of you should, though, if you do this. Like, that's pretty terrible.
Right, because the thing is that you have to have 2 people that are, first of all, infected and pay. So that means that the law of averages is going to be like, well, I'm just going to infect everybody I know.
My initial reaction was like, oh, well, you could just infect a couple of virtual machines. But then, the article says, nope, they have to pay.
Yep, they have to pay.
That's terrible.
Oh, and by the way, if you enter the wrong password 4 times, it just deletes your data.
And I mean, you're not going to guess the password.
You're not going to guess the password. That's just how that works. You know what this is, though? This is an excellent opportunity for us to talk about the thing that we almost always have to frequently repeat.
Pretty much the main thing that we frequently repeat.
Hey, how about those backups, y'all? As far as you should have backups.
There's absolutely no reason not to.
Yeah, the benefits far outweigh any. Is there a drawback to having? Oh, man, I had to actually have an external hard drive, or I had to actually pay Computer Guru for backups.
Not to mention that storage is at like an all-time low in terms of cost right now.
Yeah.
It's really cheap. You could almost have your backup entirely on an SSD at this point for a reasonable price.
Right. But there's thing to look out for is that many of the Locky variants, the first thing they do is they look for backups and delete them.
Right.
So you need to have some type of disconnected storage or off-site storage. And as it turns out, we do that.
Yeah. I use our service for that.
Yeah, it's automated. It's completely managed. It's automatic. It's
you know it's the one thing that I will say above all else our online backup has saved me from? Accidentally deleting my Steam game data.
Oh, yeah?
Because I have all that synced with our backup solution. And, when you delete a game save that you have 87 hours in, it's kind of sad.
Oh, did you undo it?
Yeah, it was my Fallout 4 backup, and I had it, and I was like, sweet.
So if you would like to be protected from these types of things, you should give the gift of backup to either yourself or someone else you know. It's relatively affordable, considering how much is a Bitcoin today?
I think it's still up around $750.
All right, it's reached its highest point
in a while.
In a long time, in the last, I think, 4 years. So I think it's up above $800.
It did reach $1,200 a few years ago, but so it's at $772 right now.
So yeah,
2 of those.
If you were to get with a Locky variant, right? They want 4 Bitcoins, right? That's $3,500 that you don't necessarily have.
So how much is a 1 terabyte traditional drive going for right now?
About $85.
So you could buy, nearly 100 terabytes for 1 Bitcoin.
Right. So backups, come on, man. It really, and lots of people are getting hit by these. All right, especially because they're either using Internet Explorer and they shouldn't be, or they have this pesky habit of clicking on things that they shouldn't.
Like big green download buttons.
Like giant green download buttons. Well, a bigger thing is that most of the cryptoware stuff comes in email. It's hey, we've sent you this link in Dropbox.
We're going to have to do some type of viral marketing campaign where we build a fake ransomware, and then when you get it in your email, it says, we could have ransomed you, but
right. Instead, no. I'd probably get in trouble for that.
Yeah, probably.
But there is some truth to it, right? The likelihood that you are going to click on something you shouldn't have is higher than ever right now.
So RTV in the chat says, what is the most common way that people get infected with ransomware? It's email.
Email. Almost always email. And they've gotten better, right? Because most people aren't opening zips. And if you're on our mail server, you can't.
It's actually been a problem for me at times.
I reject zip files at the firewall.
I remember one time where Howard just thought I was dumb because I was trying to send him a zip file, and he was like, "You're not attaching the file." And both of us were trying to figure it out for a good 5 minutes, and then we're like, "Wait a minute, we can't."
Yeah, I strip out zip files altogether. You cannot send them through the. Now, there's a way to override that, because people occasionally need to send and or receive zip files. But if you're going through our mail service, nope, that stuff isn't coming through unless it's very, very intentional. You have to type a very specific string of characters to make zip files happen.
The other thing that people are not aware of, I think, though they should be, is that executables can be hidden in JPEG files.
They can be hidden in almost anything right now. And that's a real issue for LinkedIn lately. Recently acquired by Microsoft for a ridiculous amount of money.
24 billion?
$26 billion. That was a B for LinkedIn. Oh, for people. It's just it's a coalescence of salespeople. I mean, I'm on LinkedIn. But
yeah, I mean, everybody is, but it's mostly just bots.
It's all these people going, "Hey, would you like to buy a house?" There are too many real estate agents. That's what I think. That's what I'm thinking is going on.
Just like attorneys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, speaking of. Oh, no, we're not going to talk about that. But
lots of real estate agents and attorneys on LinkedIn there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you got to watch out in your Facebook chat as well as your LinkedIn for anybody trying to send you pictures.
Yeah, especially if you're in a not necessarily secure browser. Because you can do something called silver lining with JPEGs now, where you can execute code. Basically, certain browsers download the pictures that you see, and the code can tell the computer to execute that picture once it's downloaded to your computer. So if you're using something like, I don't know, Internet Explorer, or Edge, which we've talked about.
You like to live on the edge.
Yeah, if you want, stop it. If you want your stuff stolen, you just go ahead and use Edge.
It's kind of impressive, though, in a way, to see this whole JPEG executable thing coming back, because this has been around for a long time. I remember doing that in school as a way to hide things from teachers.
Yep, you used to be able to hide all kinds of stuff in there. It was one of the better ways to infect computers in the late 90s. Right, it was when silver lining was first introduced. And I thought that was great because I could hide stuff from my dad because he would come and check to see what I was doing. And yeah.
Got all your important stuff is hidden in JPEGs.
That's right. It just looks like boring pictures.
Math homework or something. Yeah.
So yeah, if you need to get some backups, we're going to make it so that you can get some. You can contact Computer Guru. You can email us if you like. You can send us an email, radio@azcomputerguru.com. Or you can give us a call down to shop at 304-8300. We can tell you all the details you need to know about getting set up with the various types of backups that we offer. Not only do we offer a backup that is similar to Carbonite, where we make a snapshot backup of your machine every 4 hours. There's also the live version, which is the one that I think that Rob uses, that allows you to, as soon as you change something, allows it to back your machine up.
And I'll say that, to me, backup is like the secondary functionality of that. I mostly use it for transferring files between my work and home machine.
There you are. All right, so give us a call down at the shop at 304-8300, or you can call us here at the show, 790-2040. Stick around for the second hour of the Computer Guru Show, coming up right after these messages on KVOI.
Why don't people understand my intention?
Computer running slow?
I'm waiting.
Caught a virus?
Wait.
Does your computer seem to have a life of its own?
Malfunction. Need input.
The Computer Guru is here.
Thank God you're here!
Call in now.
Now it's Mike Swanson, your Computer Guru.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name's Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. 790-2040 if you'd like to be part of the show. That's 520-790-2040. We'll see what we can do to help you out with whatever technology issues you may be having.
So I got a question for you, Mike.
Sure.
Do you play mobile games a lot?
There are certain moments where I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to pull out some Candy Crush. I'm going to crush it.
I'm big on Bloons, and I know that you play that one too.
Oh, you haven't played that in a while.
Yeah, that's a fun game.
Bloons is awesome.
There's one rule, though, that I absolutely abide by. I will not spend money on the in-game purchases.
Right. I will never spend money on virtual things, right?
I'll
Do I
buy
need
a
some
game.
Imaginary gold bars. No.
I will buy a game. So I bought Bloons TD5, which is like $2. Okay.
It's $5 or $6 on the iPad, but
Okay.
yeah, that's the one I bought.
Yeah, so I'll pay for the game itself, but no in-app purchases at all. That's the rule.
Right.
So have you heard of the game? It's called Game of War. Have you heard of that one?
I've seen the ads.
Yeah, well, I think everybody has seen those ads.
I've never played it.
It's the ones that Kate Upton is really famous for.
Is that what she's famous for now?
I assume it must be. Well, anyway, this California guy spent $1 million on that game. $1 million.
Wow.
Now, it wasn't really his money, though, so maybe he was a little bit more cavalier with it.
Well, I mean, that's how they afford Kate Upton, apparently.
Yeah, it must be. He was embezzling money from the company where he worked to the tune of about $5 million, and he spent $1 million of that.
He spent 20% of his embezzled income on a mobile video game?
That's
and
true.
not even a very good one at that?
Well, I mean, apparently a lot of people think it's a good game. So that $1 million sounds like it would be a substantial portion of their revenue, right? Turns out they do that in about a day in sales in this game.
What?
That game makes them $1 million a day. It's considered, I think they say it's the in the top 5 highest grossing mobile games ever.
That is so depressing.
You lost your mind?
Yeah.
That is depressing. Wow. There's people spending $1 million a day in that stupid game.
It says that the average player last year spent $550 on that game. So I mean, obviously, people like this guy are curving those results.
Yeah, they're adjusting the curve,
Right.
right? Wow.
So previous news stories about this game were people spending like $10,000 on the game, which already is insane. I think spending $10 on that game is insane, personally. But
I don't know if I'd go as far as insane for $10, but I would say that's really not a smart thing to do.
Especially when this game specifically has been described as like gambling, but with no possibility of winning.
Nice. Well, I guess the upside is was the embezzlement noticed because of the $1 million spent on this game, or no?
No, I don't think it says why it was noticed, because he had a lot of other pretty crazy purchases, like sports cars and things like that.
Yeah.
These people who
he
embezzle,
did have $4 million to spend.
These people who embezzle this kind of money always blow my mind, because it's like they do nothing to hide it. They go and buy like a sports car, a really nice, like a Ferrari or something.
They're like taking their boss for a ride. Hey,
he's like, I'm pretty sure
literally.
you can't afford this.
Yeah.
Like, what would you do, Mike, if I just showed up in a Ferrari and I was like, check out my new car?
Well, I know that money didn't come from me, right? Because I don't have that kind of money. But
it's because I was embezzling it.
Oh, well, now we have evidence. We have proof. It's recorded. It's on the air now. Yeah, it's what?
I found a penny on the ground once in the shop. Does that count as embezzling?
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know. I'm definitely sure it's not worth it, right? As far as for me to go after you for a penny. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. It's not my way. You know how
well,
I am.
I'm gonna have to hold off on my Ferrari purchase then, so nobody gets suspicious.
Until you collect more pennies off the floor.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, so he spent $1 million on Game of War. That blows my mind.
Yeah, I can't imagine spending money on any of those like in-game purchases.
He wasn't even the top-ranked player in the world.
What?
So he spent all that money and wasn't even the top-ranked player.
Was there somebody who spent more money? Is my question. No. Okay.
I don't think so. At least they haven't. It hasn't been revealed.
Why? Why? Ken, would you do this?
No.
Gotta
thin the herd.
I guess so.
That's all I'm saying, man.
For $1 million, you could have a much better game developed just for you.
Yeah. You can invest $1 million and actually make money rather than just spending it on this video game.
If you embezzle money and then invest that money and make more, do the profits that you make get seized?
I would assume so, yes.
Yeah, they'd have to, right?
I think that's how that works. I mean...
oh, by the way, he got sentenced to, or he's facing a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. So I hope it was worth it.
I don't think they'll have that video game in prison.
Could have bought a lot of plane tickets to non-extraditable countries for $1 million, just saying.
Yeah, go hang out with, He
could have bought an island.
I don't know if you can buy an island from me.
I've looked into it. You can.
An island worth living on?
I just said an island.
Okay.
Doesn't matter that it's 10 feet wide.
I think that that is just crazy to spend money on games like that. And I thought I was impressed with Flappy Bird making $80,000 a day or whatever it was.
I think it got up to like much more than that, like $1 million a day when he turned it off.
Oh man, I should work on game development. That's what I should do. And screw this trying to help people and save their data and
just facilitate people's gambling addiction.
Right. It's just like, let's build a video game where I can get dumb people to give me money. No.
Now, I mean, to be fair, I don't think you're dumb if you spend money on a game like this, but I do think you're dumb if you spend $1 million on almost anything.
You're certifiably dumb if you embezzle $5 million from your company and spend $1 million of it on a video game. For both of those things.
Unless that $1 million was investing in that company, which you could do.
Right, so you could get some type of return on it. Yeah, but spending that through the Google store is not an investment. That's just not how that works. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was a stockholder, and he was just he was putting his money into it, reinvesting, well, so to speak. Oh man, I can't believe that people would do that. That's depressing. It's just depressing.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that I had to check the sources on that because I was like, no, there's no way.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible. I cannot imagine that actually happening.
Like, yeah, he was clever enough to get away with embezzling money for as long as he did.
How long was it? Do we know?
It just says years. It doesn't say the exact length yet.
Wow.
Clever enough to do that, but then he spent it on a game. I don't know.
That's not as clever. Okay.
What else do we got?
There's more Russia stuff. There's more Facebook stuff. But I wanted to mention that sometimes there's an alternative to things, right? And there's a lot of people that are frustrated with things like Facebook and Twitter.
I will say real quick that all of this frustration with Facebook lately makes me feel so vindicated because I've never had a Facebook for this reason.
Right?
I've always been of the mind that they're unfairly collecting data, stealing your data, and using it for nefarious purposes. And I remember people telling me that I should take off my tinfoil hat and all that. And it's like, guess what? I had tape on my webcam a long time ago, too.
Good for you.
Yeah.
There are some alternatives that people should at least check out. As an alternative to Facebook, there's Minds.com, which is an interesting platform. It's still very beta. As far as it's got some quirkiness, but they have a very open free speech policy. It's very interesting to see the difference in behavior as far as how the site behaves itself, and it's worth taking a look at. You can go over to minds.com, check it out. We have an account over there, and then there's also a couple of different Twitter alternatives, but the one that I'm going to mention is Gab.ai, and right now it's in open beta, and there's a waiting list to get in. But it generally only takes a couple of days for that.
We're still on that waiting list too. I signed us up for the waiting list for that quite a while ago.
So you can check that one out if you're interested in checking that stuff out. But it'll give you some opportunity to diversify your social presence if you're going to have one.
Yeah, I'm not against social networks in general. I'm just against the big ones because they all turn evil.
Yeah, it seems that way. Is that they're more interested in taking your information and doing really not friendly stuff with that data. And there's this weird thing going on where there's a thought police thing happening, right? Is where people are just sort of shamed into either silence or just unable to express themselves. And I'm sort of okay with that on some level, right? Which is, I think that I think there's a lot of problem with social media as a whole is people shouldn't share so much.
Yeah, some things are better left in your head.
Well, not to mention that there's an interesting sort of, I've seen on my Facebook, right, where I look at Facebook every so often, and you'll probably notice if you follow me on Facebook at all that I post almost nothing to Facebook, right? I'm occasionally viewing it.
You're just a lurker.
But I try not to put anything out there, or more accurately, I don't put anything out there without any effort whatsoever. But I've noticed that there are people that are managing because I know these people, managing very curated sort of public personas that aren't necessarily who they are. And you can see those studies where you see that people who spend a lot of time on social media end up being depressed and stuff. And I think a part of that is based on the fact that they're lying every day.
Yeah, well, also, like, people just put the highlight reel on Facebook, you know?
Right.
So if you're one of the people who gets depressed because it seems like your friends are doing so much better in life than you are, it's probably just that they're either lying or putting only the best parts of their life on there.
Well, and there's some other people who only do the negative stuff, the vague bookers.
Right.
Right. They're just like, oh, this is the worst day ever. Send. Like, what? Well, how about some detail? I mean, if you're going to put that out there, you might as well just say, hey, this is what's going on.
And I mean, it's good to have, you know, a voice box for the things that you feel you need to talk about. But, you know, maybe publicly isn't the way that you wouldn't go stand on a corner with a megaphone and do that, I hope.
Yeah, I firmly believe that our ability to, as humans, to deal with the influx of information that we have in this last generation is, the internet is just, it's too much information, right? It's so much. I don't think we know how to deal with it on either an emotional level or on a sociological level, where we have people that are just like, just overwhelmed to the point where they freak out.
Now, I've got a Twitter account, but it's not really, like, you wouldn't know it was me, you know?
Right.
And that's mostly for keeping up with news, because Twitter is still, in my opinion, one of the better ideas for how to disseminate news instantly.
Right.
Not that Twitter itself is a good company, necessarily. But unfortunately on Facebook, you can't really do that.
No, you can't. Yeah, let's go ahead and throw this call in here. Let's go ahead and talk to Robert. Hello, Robert. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon already. Google got the big idea to change Picasa and Google Web Albums.
Uh-huh.
And I'm a Photoshopper, but believe it or not, Google Picasa photo editor had two outstanding tools that are hard to beat in Photoshop.
Like
so
what?
Of course they updated it, without my permission. But I had another computer with the old file on it, so I reinstalled the old Picasa.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing about Google, they changed Google Web Albums to Google Photos.
Right.
And the good thing about Google Web Albums is you could share the wedding, and all people had to do was forward the link, and they could look at all the photos and take whatever photos they want. On the thumbnails, they took the privilege of putting my name on every single one, which is highly irritating. If you open the photo, the name goes away. But my name is on every single one of those. So the question is there another photo album website that you can share the link with that you do not have to register for to open the link and see the photos?
Yes. What is the name of that one? There's a new one that people have been using quite a lot lately.
There's Imager, but I hesitate to recommend them.
Right. Not to mention you could just use Dropbox.
Yeah.
There's an option for that.
People don't understand Dropbox. And to get all the photos off, it requires a trick. It creates a zip file. But with a simple web album program, and these are lower, resolution photos, but nobody prints anymore.
SmugMug. That's the one I'm thinking of.
SnugMug.
SM as in Mary, UG. SmugMug. And that allows you to put up your albums. It allows you to allow people to see and or download those photos for free. And it also gives them the ability to purchase prints, stuff like that, and goes to your personal store at that point.
But they do not have to register in order to open the link and see the photos.
Nope. You go to SmugMug. You can share those albums publicly if you want.
And you said smug is in like a bad attitude smug?
Yes.
Okay.
Or as you're overly confident in your abilities. Right. SmugMug is one that I know that several people that I know use, and it's kind of a cool setup. I like how it lays out.
I'll try that one. And then Edge is bragging that they're a faster browser than Google. Is that a fact or not?
No. Well, I mean, it depends on what you're doing. There are some tests that they have run that indeed is faster in certain very specific circumstances. But it doesn't matter how fast it is if it's not safe.
I will say that Edge always gets me to chrome.google.com pretty snappy.
Yeah,
it's a great Chrome downloader.
Thanks for the call, Robert. Yeah, you can very quickly download another browser from Edge. The fastest way to do so, if that's the only browser on your computer. We'll be right back with more of the Computer Guru Show.
Once was a sweet thing, baby.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOY, The Voice.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. Let's talk about getting your computer fixed is sort of a need thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's where the only time that you think about it is when your computer's broken. But we're going to offer something starting next week where you can get in on this special, right? Where we, over the last couple of years, have sort of streamlined this process where we can take your older computer, this is especially useful on the Macs, where we give you a RAM upgrade and solid state upgrade, transfer all of your stuff, and you have a effectively like new Mac again.
Certainly feels that way.
Right. It's way faster than it had been, and in some cases faster than it's ever been. And so we're offering this for a service that you can purchase ahead of time and be like, I want to make my computer faster or my friend's computer faster, and it's effectively a flat rate, right? We're going to do it there's going to be some variance if you want something special, but a standard like 500 gigabyte solid state drive and at least doubling your RAM, and we're going to do it for $350. So you get an opportunity instead of having to buy a new $1,000 laptop.
Yeah, on the Mac side of things, this is a much better deal.
Right, and even on the PCs, if you've got a relatively nice PC that has seen some miles.
Yeah, even those $1,500 Ultra books from a few years ago didn't necessarily have a solid state in them yet.
Yeah, a lot of them didn't. And even if you've got a PC, it's rather than spending, let's say, $600 or $700 on a nice faster machine, any machine that, let's say, is around the 4-year mark, 4-year-old, that this is going to offer you a level of performance that would be on par with a newer machine, depending on your processor, of course.
And I mean, if you're still kicking around a traditional drive for your install of your OS, it's like night and day to try out a solid-state machine.
Right. So everyone that we've done this for has come back with glowing reviews saying that they just love the way that their machine runs now.
It's almost sad in a way, because I remember the days of like turning on my computer and I was like, all right, time to go make breakfast or something like that, and then coming back right as it loads up to the login screen. You got like 10 seconds now.
Yep, it's as soon as you turn it on.
It's gotten to the point where I run Plex on my home machine.
Right.
I can restart my machine and not interrupt my stream. It's that fast.
Yeah, and I've told people before that, like, from power on, from the power button to desktop on my home computer, right, including the whole BIOS time, memory count, the whole thing, it's like 12 seconds. And it is really fast.
And if you're somebody who plays certain games a lot and you install that game onto your solid state, you're gonna love the difference in terms of loading times and things like that.
So basic package is going to cost you $350 plus some tax because, there's hardware involved. But it's going to dramatically improve the performance of the machine. And there's no like, is this going to be like 5% faster? No, we're talking like at
hundreds
least,
of percents faster.
At least 100% faster than it is, as far as making the machine run better. Now, this upgrade deal will not include things like tune-ups and virus removals, and if there's some other problem with the machine, there can be some additional cost involved if you want us to fix it. But for a relatively healthy machine that is it's in for the solid state swap and a RAM upgrade, it's going to be a flat rate, $350 plus tax.
Now, another thing that people forget to mention sometimes about solid states and why they're so beneficial is we all know what happens if you drop a hard drive.
Oh, yeah.
You're done.
It's toast.
In most cases, you're done, even if it's not running a lot of the time.
Some cases, yeah.
Solid state, I mean, you have a pretty good chance that it's going to be just fine.
They are considerably more durable,
yeah,
and so much faster.
Yeah.
So if check that out. It's an opportunity for you to give the gift of a faster computer for a relatively low cost, as it pertains to performance. So check it out. You can sign up for yourself, or you can get gift certificates for your friends. And Rob will have to put together a page on the website.
Mike told me that I've got effectively like a day to build this page, so I'll have that up soon.
So on your day off, go ahead and build that page for me.
Yeah.
And
yay, salary.
So check it out on Monday, or you can call down to the shop at 304-8300 if you'd like to get any more details on that. Let's go ahead and talk to Mike. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. Or I should say good afternoon.
It is afternoon.
And, Mike, I forgot to tell you a while back, thanks for going to the 2-hour format. I think it's really excellent.
Well, thanks, man.
You don't get enough time in 55 minutes, whatever it is. At
42 minutes, man.
Even the 2 hours seems to fly by.
Right. Well, listen, I'm going to vouch for the digital thing. You did some
solid
computers
state
for perfection, and I gotta vouch for it, man. It is so fast. You hit that button in 5 seconds, you're up.
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. I don't like slow computers, man. Make me angry.
Right. And not only that, I mean, it's just lightning speed. I mean, all the way across the board, whether it be the internet searching or file searching. So that's a fantastic upgrade, and I thank you. The reason why I called those, I have Picasso. You guys were talking about that earlier.
Picasso?
I have that on most of my machines, and I've always been a little sketchy about it because it's free, first of all. And although I offer a lot of free stuff, I don't know if Google really gives it to you for free. My question is, are they snooping? When you put pictures in the Google app Picasa, do they spy on you?
I don't think so with the Picasa stuff. There is a certain amount of data collection that's happening as far as the types of photos that you're uploading. That would be like JPEG versus and certain types of resolutions, but I don't think they're looking at the content of those photos.
The other thing is that Picasa and all Google services stop being free once you get to a certain amount of data usage. So they offer you like 15 gigs up front, but they do have monthly subscription packages for those.
Unless you have.
But how do they make any money on this free deal?
Oh, well, Google makes its money completely off of ad revenue.
It's all about keeping you in the Google sphere so that you view their ads.
I see. So just because you're there and you're using the Google search window, they're making money.
Right, because you're going to do things, as an example, is share galleries with people. And they're going to end up seeing a Google-hosted page with Google ads somewhere on it. As long as they can keep you using the internet, Google benefits.
Wow. That's brilliant. You got to admit, that is brilliant.
Well, they're making some money.
Oh, boy, you ain't joking. Okay, well, I feel much better about the Picasa. I do like it. It's a fun. The only thing I hate about it is when you put a fresh picture, and I'll save a picture. Let's say I take a picture of one of my fancy cars, and I put it on the desktop, so that later I can put it in an album. And the minute you fire up Picasa, it snags all of the stuff that's on the desktop and puts it into folders on or inside the app of Picasa.
One of the benefits of Picasso is that it did this machine indexing thing all the time, and that was useful for people who had just a ton of photos.
Yeah, but I hate it because if you don't want, let's say it's not that great of a photo,
right?
And you pull up Picasa, it immediately takes it and drops it in there, and then you got to go back in there and take it back out.
You can
Is
switch.
there a way to stop that?
Well, you can switch to Google Drive instead, which integrates most of the features of Picasa, but stores them more like a file system, and it doesn't do that grabbing thing.
And you can also turn off the indexing if you want, the automatic indexing. There are options for that. I stopped using Picasa several years ago because I switched over to Lightroom, and I found that to be more in line with what I was trying to do with photos, but it also gave me some more control over how it indexed files and the stuff that basically I just felt like I could do more with it.
Got it. So you go to Google Drive.
Google Drive is an option there, yeah.
If storage is your main concern with photos, yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. Guys, I appreciate it again. Have a great day.
Thanks you for the call, Mike.
Thank you.
And, if you have an opportunity, go over to Perfection Auto Works website and check them out, perfectionautoworks.com. He says he likes the solid state upgrade. You will too. Give us a call at the shop at 304-8300 for more information. We'll be right back.
I can close my eyes and make it go away. How long must we sing this song?
Whether you're dealing with hardware installation or, heaven forbid, a virus,
No!
Mike Swanson is answering all your questions one by one. So call in or chat in with yours. The website, gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show on AM 1030 KVOY The Voice.
I'm nerdy in the extreme and whiter than sour cream. I was in a V club and Glee club and even the chess team. Only question I ever thought was hard, what do I like, Kirk or do I like Picard? Spend every weekend at the Renaissance Fair, got my name on my underwear. They see me strolling.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name's Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. 790-2040.
Howard says that I should switch to Facebook because then I could force people to look at pictures of my cat.
Okay. Speaking of Howard, though, he's been bugging us in the chat about talking about this Windows 10 upgrade that is breaking wireless cards.
Yeah, Howard's kind of like our man in the trenches, So he's
Right.
constantly telling us about stuff like this because he experiences it.
And then I usually constantly ignore him, and not intentionally. This is like in the middle of the show. Because he likes to send me messages like 10 minutes before the show. He's like, hey, you need to talk about this.
In this case, though, I think he said there was 3 cases in the last week, so that's a pretty big deal.
Right. So there's an update for Windows 10 that is breaking MiFi cards, or the Wi-Fi cards, Intel versions, on laptops or desktops. But it's making it so that you just can't get online. And then people are saying, well, you know what? I can fix this myself. I'll just delete the card and reinstall it. And then you have no internet.
Yep.
And no network at all.
I think Howard said you can just do a simple IP refresh and command prompt to do this.
Right. So you can open up an administrative command prompt on your computer, do the whole ipconfig /release, and then the same thing /renew. And it fixes the problem.
So the update's just messing up the configuration?
Right. It breaks the IP stack until you refresh it. But a lot of people are going this route where they're like, I'm going to fix it myself. And then they, without meaning to, break their computer.
I mean, kudos for people trying to fix things themselves, but in cases like this, just give us a call first.
Yeah, just, 5-minute phone calls to the shop cost nothing.
And in this case, we would tell you to do exactly what we just said. We wouldn't be like, bring it down to the shop.
Yeah, it's basically, here's the free information that you need to fix this problem yourself without making it worse. And it's going to cost you nothing. 5-minute phone calls cost nothing. So you should call the shop, and we will help you over the phone for free to fix simple problems, right? Because we're not about like, hey, you know what? That you've got that drive that's unplugged in your computer. Let's charge you money to fix it. No, just we'll tell you how to fix it. All you got to do is call. So that way, we don't want to have to, first of all, charge you money for something that's so simple you could have done this yourself. We would much rather tell you how to fix it, you fix it yourself, and then you be super happy.
And then when you have a real problem, you bring it to us.
Then when there's a problem that is significant enough that it needs professional intervention, the first people that you'll think of is Computer Guru. And that's the whole point of, that's why we answer the phone. Like when you call, you don't end up in a phone system. Right? Phone rings as soon as you call.
I think my favorite phone calls are always the people who are like, just call and let you know I'm bringing the machine down. I'm like, all right. Like, do I need an appointment? It's like, nope, just bring it in.
Just bring it on down. So, yeah, 304-8300 if you have simple questions. And as long as it's 5 minutes or less, it costs you nothing. All right? It's free information. If we can solve any problem in 5 minutes or less, we will not charge you for it.
It should be free if it's 5 minutes or less to fix it. Come on.
Yeah, but some places don't operate that way. Some places you'll be like, hey, my network cable came unplugged. Can you fix it? And they'll be like, sure, bring it down and we'll charge you,
I got an error message. Sounds like you got a bad motherboard. You have to bring that down.
Yeah, it's terrible. If you want to be treated fairly, Computer Guru is the place you go. That's what we do. We treat people fairly and like people and stuff.
Speaking of which, Rob, do this stuff on your day off.
You don't have to do it on your day off. You know that you don't have to do that on your day off.
I'm teasing you.
All right, let's go ahead and take a call from Dave. Hello, Dave. How are you?
Great, sir. I got a problem. My wife's Samsung Galaxy S4, its memory is filled completely with photographs, and she wants to take them off and put them on her computer.
Right.
So how do we do that?
So when you plug that into the computer with a USB cable, Samsung gives you the option to have the phone show up as a camera or storage device.
Okay.
Those are two
and
separate
that's on
options.
the phone or on the computer?
Well, it's on the phone at first.
Okay.
So as soon as you plug it into the computer, there's going to be a something that pops up at the top of the screen on the phone. It's going to say, hey, you just recently plugged this into a USB, into a computer. How do you want the phone to behave with this USB cable? And you get, I think, 4 options on the Samsungs. You get charge only, you get as a camera, as a storage device, and then there's as a media player, I think.
There's also an option in the newer versions of Android where it'll let you install the drivers for the phone. It pops up as a driver installer.
So on the phone, you're going to have to tell it, first of all, to behave in such a way that you can access it from the computer. And then from there, it acts just like either a regular camera, or Windows will ask you, would you like to import these photos? And then you can take them off of the phone.
That's going to be the easiest way to do it. It'll act just like a flash drive if you connect it through that option.
Okay, so you tell it to be a storage device then?
Yeah, or a camera.
Yeah.
Or either one works.
Right.
Okay.
They behave slightly differently, but they have the same net effect, which is you can get a copy of the photos off of there and then delete them off the phone.
Oh, thank you very much.
No problem. That's what we're here for. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks. Yep, bye.
Let's go ahead and talk to Michael now.
Yeah, hi there. I have a question. You've talked about those computers you're accepting for using for parts and rebuilding and giving them away for people. And give me an idea of what you're collecting.
What we're looking for is preferably Windows 7 or newer era machines that are hopefully still working to some extent.
Okay.
Where we can then, rehab whatever parts need to be rehabbed to be able to give them away.
All right, we've got some older ones than that are still working.
If we're still in them with like Windows 7 era machines, because that's still a pretty old setup there.
The other thing is that outside of the giveaway, if you just need to get rid of this stuff, we can recycle it for you. That's totally different, but.
Right. So it really doesn't matter what you bring in, right? We're going to assess it to see, can it be made to be useful?
I guess that's the bigger question.
Yeah.
You'll pull things that you might find useful.
Right. If there's something that's useful to make something reasonable for somebody else, then great. If not, we have a recycling service that comes and picks up these parts and makes sure that they don't end up in landfills and stuff like that.
And keyboards? Do you want keyboards?
We'll take any computer parts you want us to deal with.
Any miscellaneous cables for this and that?
Whatever it is.
Just try not to bring us like a VCR or something.
That'll end up getting recycled anyway.
Yeah.
But basically, if you want to bring down technology and you want to make sure that it doesn't end up like in the trash, you want to make sure that the world is treated, with some respect. Bring anything you want down. We'll take care of it.
Okay, that's what I want. Thank you.
No problem. And you can bring it to either location. You can either take it to the Fort Lowell location, or you can bring it down to Harrison, and we'll take care of it. Stick around for more of the Computer Guru Show coming up next.
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM 1030, KVOY, The Voice. Your technology guru, Mike Swanson, is answering all your questions one by one.
Yes, science!
So chime in with yours. The website is gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. All right, let's go and talk to Ingrid. Hello, Ingrid. How are you?
Hi. Before the break, you were talking about disposing of computers and computer equipment that you don't want.
Right.
Before I do that, can I tell you a little joke?
If it's quick, sure.
Okay. India has the Sat Guru. America has the Meditation Guru. And Australia has the Kangaroo.
Oh, that's very nice. And
not
not to mention,
got the Computer Guru.
That's right. That's the important one right there. That Computer Guru. All right, so
now,
let's talk about chemicals.
The element, it's a metal that is used in computers, and it's very rare. And I believe that it's sent back or sent to China, where they make these things. Shouldn't we be withholding rare elements instead of giving them away? I don't know. I can't think of the name of it. I believe it's also used in spacecraft.
There's all kinds of elements that are used in computer repair or in computer manufacturing that are sort of rare elements, sort of.
But this one is really rare. It's really rare.
Well, when you let me know which one it is, we'll talk about it next week. How's that?
I'll try. Yeah, I'll try to find out. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Ingrid. Let's talk to Mark. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Hey, great show. Unfortunately, I missed the first half. I was in a meeting, but
you cannot be forgiven for this, Mark.
Anyway, on that, I just caught on to your show when you were talking about the upgrades of computers, and I have a laptop, and it's a i5, and it's 5 years old. So to replace an i5, it's going to be at least $500.
Right.
And so do you have a way of doing that? I would want maybe a 512 solid-state hard drive.
All right, so the deal
that you're recommending?
The $350 deal is a 500 gig solid state and at least 100% more RAM.
Okay, the RAM I have in it right now is 6 gigabytes.
Right, so you'd probably be looking at, we'd probably either take you to 16 gigs or something like that, because I do not deal with the whole, the 3 gig intervals.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it worth it on this laptop?
I would say that kind of laptop is ideal for this
that's
kind
sort
of thing.
Perfect for what we're looking for. Around the 4 to 5 years old mark, you're going to see a marked improvement in performance, and it extends the life of that machine for another 4 to 5 years.
And even though the screen is maybe dimming or dingying a little bit over the time, or is
I
that
think
just my imagination?
A lot of people end up accidentally turning the brightness down on their screens and not recognizing that they've done that. But yes, I mean it's still useful. And by the way, if you have if the screen burns out in the next year or two, I mean that's like $100 replacement. And you can keep that machine running for a considerable amount of time.
And with an i5, that's a decent enough processor, even the earlier generation ones, that you're going to see a really good improvement.
Now let's go ahead and point out here that if you bring a machine in and we run the diagnostics on it and we find something terribly wrong with this, we're not going to do this upgrade. Right? We're just going to basically cancel and be like, nope,
Okay.
this machine is not worth doing because it's going to
And
cause
this
other
is,
problems.
And it's a laptop, too.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's okay. All right.
Right. That's
Okay.
you are the target demographic here.
And I also have an older laptop that had Vista on it. I never upgraded to anything. And
It's not recommended
that's
for
not
the
worth-
Vista machines, not because of their age, but because of Vista. Windows 7 had much better solid-state support.
So if we were doing like an OS
Okay.
upgrade as well, then it would be okay.
Right. If you were to do like a 7 or 10 upgrade on that machine, then that would be fine also, but that would be an additional cost.
I would probably be better off just buying another.
Right. At that era,
i5.
it's too old.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Okay.
it's just not worth it at that point because then you end up with like, if you're a Vista era machine, you probably have just like a dual processor or dual core. And you should have at least 4 cores these days.
That kind of an upgrade will put you around the 600 mark with the solid state deal and RAM. So, I mean, for that type of money in that area, you can get.
You're right.
decent-
I could get something better. Okay. Well, that sounds like a great deal, actually.
Well, you should come down and take advantage of that.
Yes, I should. Thanks for your great show and
Thanks.
your great service.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.
It's worth noting that if we decide that the machine is too old, we can still help you get set up with a new one and transfer your data, that kind of stuff.
Yep, pick that stuff up and move it. It's all about you, man. It's gonna make your life a whole lot better when it comes to your computer. Just get it fixed, get it done right. And while we're on the note here, because I know a lot of people are going to buy computers for
the holidays,
and stuff like that. If you buy a $300 computer,
you're going to have a bad time.
You're going to hate it, right? And if you do buy one of these $300 computers, right, and it's not an AMD processor, you can actually save yourself some hassle if you've already purchased it. You can get the solid state upgrade plus the RAM upgrade. It'll make the machine much more usable as far as, make it happier.
I mean, especially if we're talking like a $300 laptop, just stay away from that.
Yeah, minimum requirements for a laptop. You should be spending no less than $600 on a laptop, and if you spend less than that, you're gonna have a bad time. Now, on the same token, you should spend no more than maybe $1,100 because you're just throwing away money.
After that price point, it's just not worth it.
Right, so $600 to $1,100-ish in the laptop area. And if you have questions and you're at the store, we'll happily answer what we think is either good or bad for you. You can just say, hey, these are the specs we're looking at. What do you think? And we'll be like, nope, not for that price.
There's
or,
some
yes,
really
that's a great deal.
There's some really, really nice Lenovo's and Asus laptops in that range.
And when it comes to desktops, slightly different pricing, no less than $500. Under that, you're going to be very, very unhappy. And no more than maybe $1,500 if you want a high-end, high-performance gaming box. You're going to be looking closer to $2,000. But for the average machine, $500 to $1,500 for a desktop, and for an average laptop, $700 to $1,100. And if you're outside of those ranges, you're getting taken advantage of, one way or the other.
Or there's a very specialized reason.
Right, there's going to be a good reason that something is very wrong with that purchase. Now, don't get me wrong. There are occasions where there are fantastic deals. And that's why we say, if you call us with the specs, all right, you can call us up and say, this is the processor's got, this is how much they want, this is the model number or whatever. We'll look it up and we'll tell you on the spot whether or not that's a good deal. And you can just call down to the shop, 304-8300. That's what we're here for, to make everything wonderful. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for listening to the Computer Guru Show this week. This has been a wonderful, fantastic show. And thanks to Perfection Auto Works for sponsoring this show. You can show them some love by giving them a call when they're open, which is not today.
Or you can go to perfectionautoworks.com.
Right. Be sure to give us a call down at the shop, 304-8300, or you can visit us at 510 East Fort Lowell or 64 North Harrison if you happen to be on the east side, where we can happily take a look at your technology and make things wonderful for you. Thanks for listening to the show this week. We will see you next, right here on KVOI.